Welcome to Tabletop Militia. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to just go over Kickstarter stuff that we think is cool or we've backed that's currently live. There's a bunch of stuff we can talk about, old stuff, and we're not going to talk about any new stuff that's coming out. So we'll just talk about what's actively live right now, I think.
Yeah, so this is, again, a run-through of kind of what's live on Kickstarter from a board game perspective right now. We'll take a look at, actually, a couple things that just wrapped up. I think we're going to talk about Hell a little bit, too, because there's a lot of... That thing really took off at the end. So, I think, Riot, you wanted to start with what Simon came out with here with their comics.
Yeah.
How they're doing that with the minis, with Zombicide and Cthulhu.
I thought it was 10 days, but it looks like it has 7 days here. So it says it's got 7 days to go. And I don't know. I'm probably going to back this because I'll read the comic, even if it's horrible. The thing that's selling this for me is the player cards. I mean, you get these minis. I mean, the comic might be great. I mean, and maybe that's what they're trying to do is get you into the comic by unlocking. So if you just do the one comic for, Zombicide, let's say, you'll unlock this, you'll unlock that one, you'll get another one. I don't even know if that's going to be
It's
a mini.
card, yeah.
Same here. That could be some kind of, gear. So let's see, just out of curiosity. So we got a 10-day campaign. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minis per book, probably. But let's just say 8 minis. So you select one book, 8 minis, $30. What's the math on that? You're the math guy.
I don't know, what is that about? $3.50, $4 a mini.
But it includes a playable character.
Listen, if it's a character for Zombicide, that's cool. If they're going for like zombies, I don't personally. I don't need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's too many zombies,
But
especially if you're a Zombicide fan, because each one comes with zombies.
Right.
So, and then they've just had the last one had, oh my god, so many.
Yeah. I mean, we don't play Cthulhu, but I mean, if we did, it seems like you've got another investigator figure and dashboard there, and then I don't know. It seems like the value could be there, right? If you're getting an actual playable character every day, and maybe it doesn't even need to be every day. To your point, maybe it's 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10.
But I mean, if you're getting good gear, I mean, if you're getting something kind of cool, gear wise,
yeah,
it'd be nice. But here's where there's like a blur for me is why can't I just buy the minis I want and the ID cards?
Because they're not trying to sell you minis; they're trying to sell you
a comic book.
I mean, and in their defense, if you scroll down a little bit on the page, we were looking at this a little bit in terms of who they've got to put the comics together, and I mean, it seems like they're at least getting some pro talent here.
Like I said, it's a comic I'll read. I'm gonna back it. I'm gonna back it, even though I keep telling myself I'll wait. I'm probably not backing it. I'll back it. And you'll see if you stick around. You'll see I have some impulse buys that I probably shouldn't have bought, but
we all have.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's
part of the addiction, right?
Yeah, it's an addiction.
And so what's it? $70 for the 3 comics, or 30 for one? Is that how they're pricing it?
Yeah,
75.
So which is obviously the better deal.
Right.
Which then makes me want. I mean, I don't play Invader. I have so many space games as it is.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want a space zombie game. Cthulhu, I'm cool with that. I mean, I like the Cthulhu universe.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll pick that game up. I don't know.
Well, you've got 7 days to make up your impulse mind and decide if you're going to back it.
I'm already going to back it. We can move to the next one.
Okay. What do we got next? Nemesis. So this one's actually not live, but I'm excited about this one. This one, it's not live now, but maybe by the time you're watching this, it is. It goes live on the 28th tomorrow. This is the new expansion. It's a core called Lockdown. You don't necessarily need the original core box, my understanding. So, and they've also announced that they're going to be offering kind of the all-in bundle, including Kickstarter 1 exclusives as well with this. So, that's pretty cool. Again, it's probably going to be quite a bit of money that we're dropping down on here if you're a new Nemesis player like I will be. I've been absolutely in love with what Awakened Realms has been doing for the last 12 months, between Tainted Grail, Great Wall, and some of the other games that they've put out.
I've liked them since this War of Mine.
Yeah.
So
so I'm definitely backing this one. You can look up. This is the preview page right now that you're looking at here. But content-wise, it seems like it has comparable content if you're just getting the new box to what was in the original core game. So, fair amount of cards, fair amount of tokens, all the light and characters. The tile map looks quite large as well.
It looks like they're using the cogwheels from this War of Mine as well.
Yeah, probably repurposing some of that. Again, I don't have Nemesis. I missed out on that one, and that's why when they announced this, I was super stoked to be able to jump on this bandwagon here. So,
is that going to be a leather bag?
I don't know. It looks like it might be. It looks kind of leathery.
The insert's nice. It looks like.
Well, I mean, that's one thing they did well with Tainted Grail with the inserts too.
Yeah.
So, there's your original there. So there's the original core box with the 2 expansions. So scroll back up a little bit on that one. Right, what was the price that they were selling that? Was it 130 euros? 130 US. So 130 US gets you the original Nemesis, and then the Aftermath and the Void. What was that? Void Cedars expansion. And then if you scroll to the top, I think it was 105 again for the new core expansion here. It's all the way at the top.
Unlocked or something? Lockdown.
Yeah, Lockdown. So 115 US, so slightly less.
So 240, probably 260, close to 300 with shipping. If you're for us who have never had it.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be some additional add-ons that they'll put out as well.
I'm really liking these.
They usually do like, I don't know if they'll do it with this one, but I forget what they call it. Was it the Sunburst or whatever? Mini styles from a painting perspective. That was really awesome. Oh, there's your all-in pledge right there.
Where?
$226.
Oh, that's not bad.
That gets you the Lockdown. That's all.
Does that get you?
That's everything
that's
except
everything and the medic.
Everything except the original core box. I don't see the original core box there. So that gives you the previous game expansions.
Yeah. The lock all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it looks like they had a couple add-ons with some pretty sweet. Look at those minis. Look at that guy.
I want to paint these. Yeah. So, well, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna be a painful one, but
it's okay because I have not bought anything on Kickstarter in at least 4 days. So I think I should.
I'm gonna get you like one of those, in like a manufacturing warehouse, like days since last incident. I'm gonna get you a day since last
since
last Kickstarter backing.
Oh God.
Addict. Man, those minis look great though.
I know they're great.
I know you were just talking about how you have a lot of space stuff already, but
nah, this I'll fit it somewhere else.
Look at that terrain. Look at those like egg sacks.
The dead bodies.
The dead bodies.
I mean, okay, so yeah.
Go back. Hold on. You gotta pull that up.
If you play space games, like we have Fallout, and we have what others? I have like Infinity and.
Well, you've got Blackstone Fortress that we haven't opened yet.
I mean, there's a lot of games that you could filter in these doors for Necromunda. That just having the dead bodies around is it's just fun stuff. The little escape pods, you throw those on an Infinity board.
Look at that! Look at those guys.
Yeah, that's got definitely got a Kingdom Death feel to it, right?
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. They must have just updated this preview page with more stuff because as of yesterday, Catonaut.
Wait, I can guarantee you that Catonauts will not be on my Kickstarter.
Oh, come on! You don't want a Catomorph?
No.
Look at that Catomorph.
No.
There's like.
No.
Look at the cat Truder. No. He's got like something coming out of his back. What is that? That's awesome.
It's not happening.
That's 100% happening.
No,
I will back it and bring it over when we play.
Okay, that's fine. You can play them, and I will
Look
happily.
at that box.
I don't care. I will happily find whatever character beats those cats, just to kill them. Now, if they were dogs, I'd be all right. I'd be like, you got German Shepherd or whatever.
Wow, they've even got reviews up already. So they must have
Nice.
just updated this because they do go live tomorrow. But
And I like these two guys. Oh wait, no, there's a new guy in here.
who's that guy?
I don't know who he is. We'll have to watch it and
It's like
see.
people looking at us. Who are these guys?
Yeah. All right, so let's see what's next on the agenda here with Kickstarter.
Oh, this looks like hell.
Yep.
So this is one that, I feel like we've had a fair amount of Norse Viking themed games kind of creep in the last 8 to 12 months. And I wasn't going to back this one until they came out with the solo rules. And I know I'm not alone with that. That was kind of a vocal commentary running on the Kickstarter. And to be honest, I wasn't entirely thrilled with what they put out there on the solo. They basically just said, okay, the game kind of works solo anyways. Which I guess it could if you want to play 8 characters. And I do think they did mention something about playing 4. But either way, I was sold on the amount and the variety of the characters that are available. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, I didn't wait for the solo. I think I backed this day one. There was some stuff I had seen online about it. I'm a fan of, I like Greek mythology, Egyptology type stuff, stuff about Egypt, Norse stuff. Any of that mythos stuff is interesting to me, especially when there's a historical component to it, where there's like real history to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a game because I feel like I'm learning something as well as having a good time.
Yeah. Now this is Mythic
artwork.
Games, right? And you've had some.
Yeah, I mean, there was a major issue with the only reason I got it, and I don't even remember the name of it. Yeah,
You can't see it.
Mythic
Pantheon.
Battles. Yeah, Pantheon. The dice mechanics on that were, the most ridiculous thing. I don't know if anybody knows about that game. It was insane, and it was a versus type game. I don't know. This looks like something completely different. I was very impressed with the miniature quality, and that's why I purchased it. It's got all of the Greek gods and nemesis. What is multiple enemy nemesis?
I have no idea.
All right, so somebody can
Throw it in the
correct us
chat.
on- Yeah. But yeah, So like, if you go back up to the dice, those dice are. It's obvious that those dice are going to mean certain things. Like, this tree does this. If you get a ring, it's a hit. This is a miss. This allows you to use a power. It's not like you have to count 14 dice and then subtract an 8 if you get a 5, and however that Pantheon thing worked. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I watched a playthrough. It's not. I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's certainly not overly complicated.
It is when you have somebody that you're playing.
Oh no, I mean the hell.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about.
Yeah.
Now I do like. I loved the miniatures in Pantheon. I'm a little questionable on some of these minis. I'm hoping these are just 3D renders and not completely finished.
They have to be. They're giving you a full box for the minis, extra box, which is nice for everything they unlocked.
Yeah, they've unlocked a lot.
And that was something that impressed me about the game too. Was I think in the last 48 hours they raised $1 million. And again, I think a lot of people were waiting for the solo mode to be announced and kind of what that was going to look like. This GIF reminds me of something too. Is this scenario-based system? And that was one of the question marks I had going into this. So all the scenarios are in those boxes, kind of reminiscent to like the classes in Gloomhaven, right? You open up a box when you unlock a class, you get the card, you get all that stuff in there. Makes me question the replayability on it a little bit. It makes me question the length of the game a little bit. I think it's 12 or 13 scenarios if I remember correctly. And it's, I think it says 60 to 90 minute playtime. So
per scenario.
I would imagine that's per scenario. It doesn't necessarily say that, and they don't really say anywhere that I found the amount of hours. Maybe they do, and I just missed it.
I haven't found it either. I looked.
Again, maybe I'm overblowing it because there are way more characters in the game than you will play in a single playthrough, so you can certainly play more than once with different characters, which is cool.
Well, if we go back up to the top, the one thing that... So, where was it? It was below this. So if we look at the rule book in this picture...
See, but I'm not convinced that's the rule book. I know what you're looking at. I think that's the...
In Gloomhaven, you had the same thing, where you had, here's how you set it up, here's your conditions, and then you play that. I don't think that's one scenario.
But on the playthrough I was watching, they're referencing, what do they call it?
The prologue, right?
It's called the, yeah, they call it something else.
They take the captain off the ship. Now with the map, though...
The saga book, right? And the saga book has... like the typical choose your adventure type where go to this paragraph number 144 and then you read that. So just because there's 200 pages of that doesn't necessarily mean the game's long. It just means there's a lot of choices.
Yeah.
Again,
and 200 pages isn't a lot if there's choices. Because I mean, if you take something like this War of Mine, that is hugely thick and it's only referenced by a card.
Correct.
And then a color combination or something else. Yeah. And there's it's thick and it's, very small print.
So if you couldn't tell, I'm a pretty big campaign guy. So that's why I always look for games. If they're going to have a campaign, I want it to be robust. I don't want something... I love Sword and Sorcery, but one of my key complaints about that game is you buy the core box and you get 7 scenarios on a single playthrough if you're lucky. Which maybe that's fine for some people. I like to pound through scenarios, and I like to have a nice legacy-style campaign going. And maybe this has it. I backed it, so clearly I'm putting my faith in that, that it's going to have that content. And I do think this is a game that's going to work great with more people rather than solo.
Why do they keep changing? See, now I got to change my pledge.
Oh, you didn't get the hell in? See what they did there?
No. See, this is totally... So
you'll be able to do that in the pledge
I'll do it tonight.
So. But again, I didn't actually do the hell in because if you look at it, they have like this weird Viking chess game that I don't know if they created.
Oh no, I don't want that.
I don't want that. I don't. And you were talking before the stream with the double-sided neoprene mat. I'm not sure I need that.
Yeah.
I like neoprene mats, but again, if I'm going to play this game once, I don't know, play through it once at least. I don't need a making of. I like artwork and stuff like that, but I don't need to spend that much money for that. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Successful campaign, at least so far, and the amount of updates. My phone was blowing up the last 24 hours because of all the updates.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say. They have been at least once a day had some type of update,
and the updates are coming out in multiple languages. On one update, which I don't think I've really seen on a Kickstarter before.
No, not unless it's like something that's coming from Poland or Spain or something like that. They usually have the translations in there.
But yeah, 14 days they raised $2.3 almost $1 million, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Crazy.
So probably their most successful as a company so far.
Yeah, they're at 2.2.
Yep. All right, what we got next?
All right. Steamfall, impulse buy. I have no idea what it is. I saw the monkey with a cigar, and that
blow that up. They got to see the monkey with a cigar.
Yeah,
blow that up. That was the reason. And you sold me on it because of the monkey with a cigar. He's right over there, left side of the screen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a weird archaeological Winston vibe going on from Overwatch.
Yeah, and the chick sitting on there.
Yeah.
There's like
I don't know what's going on there.
Lady sitting on him.
Yeah.
And let's see. The thing about this is there was, when I was looking at the cards, I think this is a second campaign for them. I'm not 100% sure. But when I was looking at the cards, it has solo and co-op, which are two big things for us.
Correct.
It seems kind of like a Come On game. Or Simon. Did they go back to Simon, or are they back at Come On now? Or
I don't know.
You move from one tile to the next, and you're in a room, and I don't know too much about it. but it has to do a lot with cards, and you can combine these cards to make crazy weapons.
That's cool.
I don't know. It's kind of like, steampunky.
Is it like a randomized map each time, or is it like is there scenarios?
Dude, I literally, this was an impulse buy. I saw the monkey with the cigar, and I said,
I gotta have that. Gotta have, and you went all in on it. I see.
I just. It was $100, and it seemed like a good. For $100, it seemed like there was a lot of stuff there. So.
I'm with you. I can't wait to play. When is it fulfilling? May? Next May? Okay, so we got some time on this one.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's cool. It's
a lot of information about it.
It's got three game modes, like you said. Yeah. It's got a solo, a co-op, and a versus mode, competitive mode. So.
And I like the little dude. What has he got? Like some kind of weird organ on there.
Yeah, that's.
And then you got the guy with the chainsaw. You got a
wrench. The little engineer guy with a massive wrench.
Yeah, and then you got your doctor with the.
Yeah, it's almost like a weird nose. Like cultist vibe to it.
It looks good. I don't know. I like it. The minis look fun to paint.
Minis look good, yeah.
It's worth $100 for me to paint the minis.
Oh, so there you go.
Going. Sea of Legends. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, this looks sweet.
There's not enough good piratey stuff out there for me.
Yeah. I like when they integrate technology in the board game, and I think this is hopefully going to be a great example of that, because you can do it really poorly, but you can do it really well. And from what I've seen so far, I'm pretty optimistic that this is doing it well in terms of the nemesis and the lover component. It really, a lot of these games tout like no game will ever be the same.
No, I get that in this, where it could totally be different.
Absolutely. And we've unlocked a fair amount of new nemesis. There it is again. and lovers, which is pretty cool. It's a soloable game, which is a big check mark for me. The minis, I don't know. They look okay right now, but again, I think these are all renders. Have they shared any?
I don't know. I really like Captain Spell, and then in the updates, if you've backed this, in the updates they had. Were you playing the game with Spell?
No.
So you start in this bar, and then everybody votes. Do you drink this thing or chuck it at the dude? And
yeah.
So they had this little mini story going on about Spell. So I already was like hooked into. I can't wait to play her.
Yeah.
Because I already had this vibe of who she was and stuff. So I thought that was really cool that they, did that in the update section.
And the gameplay seems fun, right? It's got a lot of elements of how you can win the game. There's no clear one path to victory, which I know is a pretty standard thing. But when I was watching the playthrough, I remember thinking that it was doing it very well. I like the different factions that they have. And I think if we get to 450k here in the last couple days, there's another faction that gets added. They've already added like 4 or 5 other captains. And some of the mini, like that guy. Yeah. Look at that guy. Beautiful. And then they have the like Quetzalcoatl in it as well for like the Aztecs. Yeah. And the Harpy, like the Harpy looks sweet. So I'm good. This is one I would probably get the
mat, and I would get the coins. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff.
And this is going to be weird, but I like to play games. I like to find games that I think I'll be able to play with my wife, who's not a huge board game player. And I think this is one, I was telling her about it, that it piqued her interest a little bit with some of these various elements. And it doesn't seem too super heavy of a game, but one of those games is kind of maybe not necessarily easy to learn, difficult to master, but certainly rewards strategy. And being able to think on the fly as the game kind of changes when your nemesis pops up to kind of thwart what you were doing. So definitely one, if you haven't looked at it, I think you should definitely take a peek at it. Just the core game I think is $90, which seems to be the going rate for most games these days, and really all in at $155 is not terrible. That's a pretty reasonable price for it seems like the amount of content that you're going to get.
Yeah, and there's definitely, it looks like they've added a couple more videos here too as well.
Mm-hmm.
since I was last on here. But yeah, this I'm excited about this one. This one definitely looks like I'm definitely excited about it. Definitely get those guys painted up and start playing.
You need to buy a lot of paint.
I did. I backed. That's something else I backed. The
what was that called?
Instant magic or instant potion paint or something.
You bought like the retailer set that has like 17.
No, it wasn't the retailer set. It's just the 56 bottles or whatever. But it's basically a contrast paint that what's the name of that company? They make a decent quality paint. I think their contrasts look all right. They put out a bunch of videos on it. But yeah, I'll try it out, especially for something like this where I'm not going to be like super hypercritical of how I paint them.
Yeah. Except the one with the monkey on his back.
No, that's a different game.
No, this. You see the mini that has the guy has a monkey on his back? I don't think it's a mini right now. It's a render.
Oh yeah.
But come on, how cool is that?
Yeah, but I mean, if you do the contrast painting, it kind of like
I know
does its thing.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
I mean,
of it,
if I feel like I touch that mini and I'm like, okay, this one has to go above tabletop standard, then. But then again, tabletop standard is getting kind of raised nowadays.
Yeah.
More and more people are painting. All right, so let's see what's next. This is
I'm gonna leave the room for 20 minutes while you.
No, I know. Okay, you've already heard it all, but yeah, the Creality has already had massive success with what they've done as far as printers. I've been looking.
How long has this been live? It's still 8 days to go.
30 days. Yeah.
I feel like we've been talking about this since pre-COVID days. You haven't, but I feel like you have.
No, I knew it was going live, so I started talking about it then.
Yeah.
Because I was questioning the Ender 3 or the CR10, and then there was some videos and talk about this CR6. So for me, I do a lot of wargaming, so I buy a lot of terrain on Etsy, or do the old foam building, or it's just 3D printed terrain is awesome. I have a resin printer for little models and stuff, and I just got into that. This seems like I wouldn't say it's plug and play. I think you have to have some knowledge about it. I'm sure my first couple spools will be failed prints, but it seems like a very simple, easy. It's going to replace the Ender 3 possibly. I don't know. That's my thing on it, but we can skip past that. Oh,
Youthia.
Yeah.
This one looks sweet.
Yeah.
Super late to the Mage Knight game, but I got Mage Knight last year. We haven't done a playthrough of Mage Knight yet, but
nope.
I've gone through a solo playthrough of the game. Obviously, it's a highly touted game, and this is not. I wouldn't call it a clone of Mage Knight, but it's pretty darn close. Very similar mechanics. Something that I was really shocked by, but really impressed with, was you can play this game right now in its completion on Tabletopia, as well as Tabletop Simulator. Sponsored and created by... I know Tabletopia was sponsored and created by, I don't know, Daya Games. I don't know if Tabletop Simulator was necessarily a fan-made. I doubt it, because the assets aren't out there. But either way, you could play the game completely, and they've basically stated they're not taking that down. So, pretty bold move on their part, but they're that confident that this game has that staying power, you're going to want to buy it. One of the things that is, for those that have played Mage Knight, the holy cow, the table management with that game, and the setup and the teardown time is quite extensive. And it's clear that they've heard the community on this one, and they've created a pretty robust solution to that built into the campaign. So that answers probably the biggest criticism that the game that I saw from the community was. I guess another thing with this is not a new game. This is a game that has existed. I think it was released only in Poland a few years ago, and maybe even longer than a few years ago. And they've decided to kind of release it more widely again with some changes and updates to the rule set, and that's what we see here on this page. So check out a video if you want. Again, the playthroughs are kind of long, but I really do. I get great feelings about this one when I watch the playthrough and I look at the cards, I look at the components. It kind of fits that Mage Knight almost to a T.
All right, so I already he mentioned it. I backed it. That's his collection can't get bigger than mine. It's not. It can't happen. But this, I just coming down here. I have not read all this stuff, but it says fight and liberate, get an advantage. I like that, and then help the citizens. Maybe.
It's quest, man. Yeah.
No, I'm not helping them. I got other things I gotta do, man.
Well, that's the cool part,
I've fallen
right?
into that trap before.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go help this guy.
You don't have to, man.
Here's your stuff. Oh, you're dead. You were surrounded by 8,000 wolves.
Yeah. No, and that's what I love about it. It's got the modular board. You can go off, in any direction from the beginning. You can sabotage people. If you're playing, what I really like about it too is if you're playing, obviously with more than one person, you control the monster that I'm fighting.
Wait. What now? Explain that.
So if I'm fighting a monster, you control the monster as I fight it. So you
but
can
is
play.
It like a Kingdom Death? I control the monster like we're doing it cooperatively, or I'm trying to screw you.
This is it's a competitive game.
Oh, so it's not co-op.
There's a co-op version.
Okay.
But it's competitive, similar to Mage Knight.
Okay, so then there's a semi-co-op.
Correct, semi-co-op element. But and that's where I think the fun, where maybe when it's not your turn, right? You're not just sitting there. You're actually participating in the game still. I really like that. And then they've got obviously some of the co-op stuff. The goals are defeating these dragons that have kind of come out. And the dragon minis look pretty sweet from what I've seen as well. So more scenarios. They got the, more higher competitive aspect. And then your semi-cooperative and your solo variants as well. There's a scoring system. That's how you win. You get the most points. So
that seems well worth the money.
Yeah, a lot of content.
A lot of playability. And I like apps. I know people are iffy on the apps, but for me, after playing Gloomhaven, how do you not play that with?
Well, and that's a fan-made app too.
I know. But that's what sold me on apps. I was like, I don't want apps. I like the board game experience. Until there's too much stuff to keep track of.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some games that have apps that aren't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good in this one.
Yeah, and it's not intrusive.
There's going to be a lot to keep track of.
Yep. So this is another one I'm excited for.
Yeah, and the artwork is awesome. I love these player card things.
Yeah.
The way it's just.
And in the playthrough, it really does seem like each character plays differently. Again, this screams Mage Knight, even looking at the artwork. But yeah, this is going to be.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
It's going to be a good one. A couple days left in this one.
And then when's that one supposed to come out? That's going to ship probably.
I think it's May next year. April
next year. All right. Oh man, you owe me a Coke. 0.
Look at that, 200 grand.
Oh, we hit 200 finally. We might.
You got 13 days, and you were at 186 yesterday.
Man,
the cojones of this company to set the Kickstarter, and I respect it, right? Because they set this goal at what they truly believe they needed, right, to create the game they wanted, which is very refreshing instead of these BS lowball numbers that don't mean anything.
Right. Well, I think in those lowball numbers, those are companies that are already established.
Yes.
They have funding from the last thing they sold. These guys, I'm pretty sure, are brand new. This is their first, attempt at this.
Look at that. Dia backed him. So the Euthia people backed the game. That's cool.
So yeah, I think this is their first campaign. We should be able to
first created right there. Lunar Oak. First created, 2 backed.
Now, I have seen a couple playthroughs on this, and I really enjoy the gravity system. You're not going to have a lot of minis on the board. There are, minis, obviously, but they're basically kind of like see if I can get to a shot here. I know I'm scrolling past some of this really cool stuff, but if I can show you... Alright. Well, you can't tell here, but... So remove all this stuff off this board. Yeah. So if you remove all the stuff off the board... Okay, so we have this. And we have our alpha and our omegas. Basically, you have these little blips, almost like a radar, that get dropped, in different areas. And they keep getting pulled towards either this alpha or this omega, and then they get pulled towards where the citadel is, where it sits right here. And I think that's neat. And then you go out and create these light paths. You basically have this type of lantern, and you have these tiles that go different ways. So it's kind of like what's that one Chinese game where you have tiles, you put them down, they're in a directional way. Anyway, you use the light to block paths of enemies, and they blow up when they hit the light, or you can go out and fight them. Which I don't know. I think this is going to be a really good game if it gets where it needs to get.
It's got some cool mechanics to it, and it's got some. If you buy the minis, it's got like that middle mini, that like base. Or what do they call it? The Citadel mini? Yeah, the Citadel.
Yeah.
It like builds together. Like that's freaking cool.
Right, but there was like one of the comments. Now here is the 3D version. Now there's also the other version, the
standee.
Yeah, the problem the guy had is he moved it out of the way as soon as he started playing because
it's too big.
He couldn't see the other side of the board.
Yeah.
So the idea is good, but it doesn't work well if you can't see. I mean, because that's sitting on the board, in the center of the board.
It's huge. They show you how big it is, too. It's like 3 or 4 inches, right?
So it's sitting in the center of the board, and you're sitting here at eye level with this thing. You can't see anything here or here. So your whole... And that's where one of those gravity lines is. And if you're sitting off to a corner or something, if you have multiple players. So it's a huge obstruction. But that's the only thing I could say negative. Other than that, it's pretty cool. Set it on the shelf. I mean, now, had they done it in a way where you could see through, I think it would be a little better.
Well, and I think you build it up over time, right? So it could be like earlier in the game, it's a little bit lower and less, obtrusive. Well, they've added some more add-ons, huh? I don't remember seeing these add-ons on here.
Yeah, all this is new.
That must be why they're getting up
Well,
there.
yeah, because, once we hit the 150 mark, it started unlocking new scouts and stuff. And now their update page has been, has stayed very positive. I don't know. I think it's worth the backing.
It's not a cheap game. Is it $125 for the entry level? I think that's the only one.
The Scout Pledge or the...
Oh, $89. Okay.
$89.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's not bad for a quarter.
Yeah, because you're getting a lot of content there. The biggest thing is
There's a campaign with this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get back to the top and see what it's all about. Yeah, story pages, 100 story pages, 26 missions,
cool,
50 plus hours.
Yeah.
90 to 120 minutes per mission.
Great.
So
it's a long delivery window, October next year, huh?
Yeah. Which, if you put it into perspective, if you go into the idea of how much they need, I don't think they're logistically, I think they're logistically preparing themselves for all kinds of different potential problems to come up.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair window.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fair thing because, unfortunately, most people don't back things unless they're funded.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame, but there lies your first campaign. I think this was a little ambitious for their first campaign.
What are they at, 200 grand? I think you're gonna get there, man. I think there's people that have been waiting, and as this slowly inches its way up, 328. You got 13 days. You're halfway through the campaign.
It's hard, man. It's hard to say yes, but I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's see what's next. Oh yeah, Victim. This was a one on my list. I don't think it was on your list, was it?
No, not at all.
It's not now, is it?
It's 57 hours to go. It could be. Still a chance.
So, I do not like chibis, so
this is the chibi one.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'll play it when you get it.
I'm not into the chibis, but I do like the gameplay. If you let me pull these goofies up. If you like chibis, you'll probably enjoy this. I happen to not be into it. This is the add-on thing. It's just not my style. However, gameplay-wise, I think it's awesome. And we've unlocked the solo part, which is very exciting. But you basically, this is kind of like a take that in the same sense of one of your people become a victim at some point. So let's say me and you are controlling, you're controlling 2 players, I'm controlling 2 players, and your guy gets, becomes the victim.
Yep.
You're now the bad guy.
Okay.
You've turned into the werewolf or whatever, you're playing, whatever the enemy is that you're playing. So you take over the role of just him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to take the rest of the 3 characters and try to find my way to some type of survival. And they have like hacking skills. You got to get into computers and break into locks, and it's got a neat little feel to it. It's definitely kind of like a JRPG, like Japanese style. Well, you can see from the, it's got that anime feel to it. And it's got the tile discovery, which we both like.
Yeah.
You pick a tile, you flip it over, and you can do running and exploring, and like you can make a fast bolt to a different area, but sometimes that can mess you up. And then there's like these portals that you can, as an enemy, you can jump through. So if you're in you flip the wrong tile, then you've just opened yourself up to get pounced on.
Right.
Which, may actually be a benefit in a way you play the game, because you might be like, all right, I'm just going to sacrifice this guy, get him out of the way, get the other 2 out. But it looks like an interesting game. But now they have a solo mode, which is kind of interesting, which means that there's probably going to be some type of AI deck for the... and this is what was also interesting about this, is that this is in the Philippines. This was made in the Philippines, and I think that's the first time I've heard of a game being made in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
What can you say? That's as far as development and everything.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. Because I don't know Hexa House. I don't know anything about them. I'd have to Google it. It's a board game studio in Singapore and Thailand. So it's not even the Philippines. It's Thailand.
Thailand.
All right. I've been to Karat.
There you
I know where that is.
Okay. That seems cool.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I don't think I'll back it, but I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
They needed an anti-chibi option.
All right, what's the last, or not the last one? What else we got here?
I didn't switch over, did I? There we go. Oh yeah. This is all me right here.
Yep.
Though you may back this, right? You said you're
maybe. Yeah,
undecided?
we'll see. This is the dino one, right? I like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They're cool.
So, I'm just gonna go with Chronicles, even though I've heard the name 3 or 4 times in the last 24 hours. I'm just gonna go with Chronicles with dinosaurs. But what I like about this is it's a co-op game, that introduces non-wargaming people into a wargame mechanic. So Alex doesn't really play a lot of war games. He's played Crisis Protocol. He likes that. But this is a co-op standard. I know in the prologue, I'm not going to be spoiling anything here. You have like your little jungle boat that you're going down the river on, and it breaks down. You have to get off the boat, and you see a plane crash. You go to the plane crash. You get, this engine part you need. You get back, but you got to shoot all these dinosaurs in the way. But you use a tape measure to make your movements, your wounds and the rolling and stuff. It's just very wargamey, but you're doing it cooperatively, which is a very nice way of playing a game with somebody where you want to have that war game itch, and you have somebody that doesn't really play war games. I think this is a great jump in. That allows people to teach non-war gamers how to play a war game, because once you have these mechanic downs, these base mechanics down, most of your other war games are going to follow the same pattern of having to move and shoot. I mean, obviously things will be different, but I think it's a great way to introduce people into wargaming. But it also looks like a lot of fun. The story seems kind of
great
fun.
painting opportunities there with those
yeah.
too, huh?
And the other thing that really drew me to this is it's not Cthulhu, it's not dinosaurs, it's not. And I hate to say pirates because I said earlier I'm excited to have more pirate stuff, but it's not. It's something that
It's new.
It's new, yeah. And I don't guess it's steampunky, but for some reason I get a steampunk feel, just because of like this, half-rigged flamer. And now it's not steampunk. What is that? What would you call that? That crafting type, where you craft weird weapons.
To me, what I get like a weird Avatar vibe.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, I know Avatar didn't have dinosaurs, but like from like the Marines and like they're like look at that guy, like he's like in something. Like he looks like the Doom guy.
Yeah.
But he's like, is he like in something? Like this robot thing? Yeah, like what is that?
Yeah, he's got like a rhinoceros's head.
Yeah, like what the heck
is a trophy.
Yeah.
And he's got like his little mech.
Yeah. So I get that kind of that vibe, which is cool.
And you got your Rocket Raccoon knockoff.
How dare you?
But no, I think this game is gonna.
It seems
be a lot of fun.
It seems cool, and it's been fulfilled, or it's hit its goal, right?
Oh yeah. I think it hit it pretty early.
Oh.
I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah,
probably not.
Pretty successful.
Oh yeah,
79.
So
but again,
it was only
$8,000.
$8,000,
Come on. You needed more than that to make this game.
Yeah, but I think they have. Drowned Earth. So he must have. Yeah, he's done a game before then. See if we can pull this up here and read this. Now it's time for the next chapter. A truly cooperative and solo campaign experience. Enter into the Drowned Earth. Play against AI, dinosaurs, and pirates. Oh, you're playing against pirates too.
There
we go. All right. Cool.
All right. Check.
And Mysteries of Raptor Claw Island. So yeah, he must have done well with Drowned Earth. And this is, like feeding off of that initial success. And I guess if he's done that game, he knows the logistics. He knows his company that he's getting his base from.
Yep.
He knows who's creating his.
Seems fairly lower risk.
So it looks like something that he's.
When does this fulfill or deliver?
I think it's pretty early. June 21. Oh, okay. So I lied.
Not bad. It's not terrible.
Yeah. All right. See what's next. Tiny Epic Pirates. More pirate stuff.
I was gonna say you were just talking about no pirates.
Yeah, well,
it's the flavor of the month
in
May, I guess. Is pirate stuff.
This it's a Tiny Epic game, but with pirates. You basically have cargo. Yeah, you're trying to move it around, sell it off, be the notorious pirate, and stay away from the Navy.
Listen, it's $40 for all in.
Yeah.
What do you got to lose?
It's not overly complicated. It's an epic, tiny epic game.
Right.
And they've put out some great stuff in the past. Certainly got a lot of interesting, possibilities inside this to whip it out. I mean, this is something I can throw in my wife's purse, and we go somewhere that
You
I
mean
don't
your
want
purse?
to. Yeah. My backpack. Just because I use one strap doesn't mean it's a purse. All right. No, it's. I think I can take this with me. It's small enough. I can pack it up. I can sit and watch my kid at the mall. She can shop, and I can play solo.
Yeah.
By myself.
There you go.
Just well, I mean that makes me sound like a horrible parent because I'm not selling coffee instead of trying to get my watch my kid. But there's the mall I go to has a very.
You don't have to justify it.
No, I'm justifying it. It has a section where there's only one way out and there's only one way in. So as long as I'm in that right spot, I just have to ask everybody to move down so I can play my game. But anyway, yeah, you can. It's portable. It's definitely portable. You can take it with you, play it somewhere. It's definitely looks good and fun.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
If you can believe, holy cow, that's a lot of games that are live right now. It's just crazy. It's like,
and this is just the stuff that we're interested in. We haven't even talked about
there's so much
this stuff that is coming out or we're excited to see come out or things we haven't even found yet. Because I mean, it seems like every day I get on there, I'm like, wait a minute, let me check this out later.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Dawn Shade, but that's another one I'm keeping an eye on. Not doing as well as I thought it was going to do, but yeah, there's a ton.
I didn't think it was going to do that well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just the look of it, the theme of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't get it. I mean, it didn't really draw me in. And it's a mechanic that's been done. A lot.
It's not necessarily a new thing.
Which is kind of a shame.
But you can expect, I guess, some of these videos from us on a pretty regular basis. Maybe not as long as this one in terms of actually how much content. We'll probably do it more regularly.
Yeah, it'll probably be longer.
Yeah. But there's a lot of, to Riot's point, there's a lot of games that we backed last year that are fulfilling soon.
So we'll definitely
delayed, but we've got some good stuff coming in.
We'll be doing unboxes and playthroughs and things like that. So certainly, hit the little, I don't know what it is, bell or...
Yeah, like, subscribe. Put in the comments if there's anything you want us to take a look at, or if you have any questions or comments in general about some of the games we talked about. I'm sure we messed a lot of stuff up. So
yeah.
Correct us.
And if you don't like certain things, or if you love certain things, like the comic thing, I don't know. Maybe, that's an absolute seller for you. I know it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, it isn't for me. I mean, I would just love to hear that opinion, to know what that's like.
Yeah.
For other people. I mean, because, Chronicles, and then say, well, I don't think this is a great intro. I think this game is a great intro.
Yeah.
Because of this reason or that reason. So, yeah, definitely shoot us back. We'll definitely keep in touch and keep our militia moving.
Yeah, man.
Get it growing.
Love it.
All right, thanks for watching. If you stuck around this long, and
happy gaming.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.